Whatever brought you here today, stay with this video for a few minutes. Because if 1111 found you at the right moment, the financial question worth asking is not simply, how much money do I have? It is, how many things could go wrong before my financial future becomes vulnerable? That distinction matters because income is not the same as security. A high income can disappear through job loss, business disruption, illness, technological change, family responsibilities, or a prolonged period when your ability to earn no longer matches your expenses. A person can therefore look financially successful while quietly depending on one fragile source of cash flow. So how do you actually protect your financial future? The first step is to calculate your financial runway. How long your available liquid resources could support essential expenses if your primary income suddenly stopped. If your essential monthly expenses are high, the same amount of savings provides less protection than it would for someone with lower fixed obligations. This is why reducing financial fragility can sometimes be more important than simply increasing income. Imagine two people earning similar amounts. One has large recurring obligations, expensive debt, and little liquidity. The other has fewer fixed commitments, accessible savings, and several ways to generate income. If both experience the same income shock, their financial reality can be completely different. The difference is not necessarily wealth. It is resilience. That leads to a more important search question. Is an emergency fund enough to protect your future? Not necessarily. Savings protect against a temporary interruption, but they cannot permanently replace earning ability. If an economic downturn lasts longer than expected, inflation raises essential costs, or an industry changes faster than a person's skills, savings gradually become a countdown rather than a solution. This is why your earning ability itself is a financial asset. Learning a valuable skill, maintaining professional adaptability, understanding technology, improving communication, and developing the ability to solve commercially useful problems can extend your financial runway far beyond what a bank balance alone can provide. Artificial intelligence makes this question even more important. The relevant question is not simply whether artificial intelligence will eliminate jobs. A more useful question is, which parts of your work can be automated, and which human capabilities become more valuable when routine work becomes cheaper? People who continually learn can potentially use technological change to increase productivity, while people whose income depends entirely on tasks that can easily be replicated may face greater pressure. The financial implication is clear. Protecting the future increasingly requires protecting your ability to remain economically useful. But another hidden risk exists. Why do intelligent people sometimes make terrible financial decisions during periods of stress? Because financial stress changes behavior. When people fear losing income, they often become more focused on immediate relief than long-term consequences. They may delay difficult calculations, make emotional purchases, take excessive risks, avoid necessary conversations, or cling to a familiar source of income even when circumstances have changed. That means financial resilience is partly psychological. A person who can remain calm enough to examine expenses, renegotiate obligations, learn something new, and make decisions before a crisis becomes severe has a different financial advantage from someone who only possesses more money. This is where the symbolism of Lord Hanuman becomes remarkably practical. Hanuman represents courage, but courage is not the absence of fear. In a financial crisis, practical courage means being willing to look directly at uncomfortable numbers, acknowledge dependence, reduce unnecessary obligations, learn new capabilities, and act before circumstances force the decision. Hanuman also represents discipline and self-mastery. Financial protection requires the same principle because every recurring expense creates a future obligation. The question is not whether an expense is enjoyable today, it is whether the commitment reduces your freedom tomorrow. And there is another dimension, humility. If your profession changes, humility allows you to become a beginner again. If your income falls, humility allows you to ask for help. If an investment fails, humility allows you to examine the mistake instead of protecting your ego. If technology changes your industry, humility allows you to learn rather than assume yesterday's skills will automatically remain valuable. So what does genuine financial protection look like? It looks like liquidity for short-term disruption, manageable obligations, diversified sources of earning potential, continuously developing skills, thoughtful risk management, and the psychological discipline to make decisions before fear takes control. It also means recognizing that money cannot protect every part of life. Your health affects your capacity to work. Your relationships affect your emotional stability. Your knowledge affects your adaptability. Your character affects how you respond when circumstances change. Financial resilience therefore becomes larger than financial planning. It becomes preparation for uncertainty. And perhaps that is the most useful meaning behind being reminded to protect your financial future today. Do not wait for a crisis to discover how dependent your life has become on one income, one skill, one employer, one business model, or one assumption about tomorrow. Use the present moment to reduce that dependence while you still have choices. Let gratitude prevent fear from controlling your decisions, and let devotion to Lord Hanuman represent the courage to prepare, the discipline to continue, the wisdom to adapt, and the humility to learn. Because protecting your financial future does not mean predicting exactly what will happen. It means becoming strong enough that when something unexpected happens, it does not automatically determine what happens next. So perhaps the question 1111 places before you is not whether you are going to become richer. It is whether you are becoming harder to financially break. And if the answer is not yet, you still have something extremely valuable, the ability to begin preparing before the future demands it.